the unbroken thread, reclaiming the connection of Kemetic and Indigenous American peoples. Good afternoon, everyone. We stand at a unique crossroads of history. For too long, the stories of our ancestors have been filtered through a lens that was never designed to see them clearly. Today, we are pulling back the veil. We are here to talk about a connection that spans oceans not as a theory of discovery, but as a legacy of shared wisdom and biological reality. We are looking at the relationship between the Kemetic people of the Nile Valley and the Black ancient Indians of the Americas. For centuries, Eurocentric historiography has attempted to isolate these civilizations, placing them in tidy, separate boxes labeled African and Native American. But when we look at the architecture, the cosmology, and the physical remains, a different story emerges. A story of an interconnected global network of seafaring, highly advanced melanated peoples, the Kemetic American connection. Let's start with the how. The prevailing Eurocentric narrative suggests that before 1492, the Atlantic was an impassable wall. Yet, the Kemetic people, the masters of the Nile, were also masters of the sea. Consider the architecture. We see the pyramid not just as a tomb, but as a mathematical and spiritual powerhouse rising from the sands of Giza and the jungles of Mexico and the Mississippi Valley. These are not coincidences of convergent evolution. These are blueprints of the same cosmic understanding. The Olmec civilization, often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica, left behind colossal stone heads with features that are undeniably African. Even the botanical record betrays the colonizers' timeline. Traces of tobacco and cocaine plants native only to the Americas have been found in the mummified remains of Kemetic royalty. This proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that trade and travel were occurring thousands of years before the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria were even a thought. The colonizers' erasure, 711. So, what happened? Why is this not in our textbooks? The Eurocentric colonial project was not just about stealing land. It was about stealing the mind. To justify the enslavement of one group and the genocide of another, the colonizers had to strip both of their history. To the Kemetic people, they applied the Hamitic hypothesis, claiming that any achievement in Africa must have been brought by light-skinned outsiders. They literally bleached the history of the Nile. To the Black ancient Indians of America, the Washita, the Yamasee, the Califians, they applied a different tactic: reclassification. When the colonizers encountered melanated people already here, they didn't always see Indians in the way they've taught us to imagine them. They saw Negroes. By the 18th and 19th centuries, through paper genocide, many indigenous Black Americans were reclassified on census records from Indian to colored or mulatto. This effectively severed their legal right to the land and their ancestral identity in one stroke of a pen. Interrelation of struggle and spirit, 1116. The interrelation between these two groups is found in their shared cosmology. Both cultures viewed the universe as a balance of forces. In Kemet, it was Ma'at truth, justice, and cosmic order. In the Americas, it was the great law of peace and the balance of the four directions. Both civilizations were built on the principle of the mound. The Ben stone of Kemet represents the first land to rise from the primordial waters. Similarly, the Mississippian culture of North America, the great mound builders, constructed massive earthworks that mirrored the stars, just as the pyramids mirrored Orion's belt. They were interrelated by blood, by trade, and by a shared priesthood of the sun. They were the original globalists, connected by the currents of the Atlantic and a deep spiritual science that recognized the earth as a living being. The path forward, 1620. The colonizers tried to divide us by sea and by skin tone, but the roots remain entangled. When we study Kemet, we are studying the ancestors of the Americas. When we study the ancient mound builders, we are studying the cousins of the Nile. The erasure was intentional. If you know you are a traveler of the world, you cannot be a slave. If you know you are the original inhabitant of the soil, you cannot be an alien. Today, we reclaim the golden feather of Ma'at. We weigh the heart of our history against the truth. We acknowledge that the Black Indian and the Kemet are two branches of the same ancient tree. As we leave here today, let us not look at history as something that happened to us, but as something we built. The pyramids are still standing, the mounds are still here, and most importantly, the DNA and the spirit of those builders live on in you. The truth is no longer buried, it is rising. Thank you. This has been a Sharri Plaza presentation.